Star, 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 star. Very important, guys. ANOVA, analysis of variance. Okay. You will find many books in the market, guys. You will find many books in the market. But if you read 4, 5 books or maybe 10 books, the concept is not well explained. Okay. Concept is actually identified in different ways. But this entire concept is actually invented by a guy called Fisher. Okay. And when he proposed to the world, and the Dr. C.R. Rao from India actually worked with this guy also. So he explained it so beautifully with the subject part, from which I learned the data science. Okay. So I wanted to give you the same example and say the same example worked by the Fisher, which is passed on to us to India, and it's lovely concept and beautiful concept. So pay attention, and it's very interesting. Story is going to be very interesting. Okay. Okay. So here is the concept. Here is, so we all live. I'm just tailoring the example to the need of what we are trying to do. Okay. So we are in Hyderabad. We are all in Hyderabad. Okay. Now, Ravikant, Ravi, sorry, I'm using your name just from illustration perspective. He's the director of Agriculture University. Agriculture University. Okay. Now, KCR has taken a decision that he wants some fertilizer, one fertilizer, which can be put onto the fields, agricultural lands, so that the yield of the paddy crop is going to grow. Or the yield of the paddy field, that means paddy means rice. The yield of the paddy field supposed to increase from some X% to another Y%. Okay. So you understand the problem statement given to Ravi? Problem statement given to Ravi is, okay, get a fertilizer which will have impact on the yield of the crop. This is a live business problem, friends. Okay. So now, given this problem, now there are four types. Ravi decided 4 types of fertilizers: fertilizer A, fertilizer B, fertilizer C, fertilizer D. A is this fertilizers Ravi wants to import it from America. B, Ravi wants to import this from Bangladesh. Another fertilizer C, he wants to import it from Canada. Another one, local market, which we'll say domestic. That is from Hyderabad itself, because there is one fertilizer company which manufactures the fertilizer. So Ravi wants to experiment these 4. What this fertilizer contains? This fertilizer contains few minerals in it, right? You remember something like NPK. What is this? N? Any idea? This is nitrogen. P stands for phosphorus. K stands for potassium. Okay. So these are the different minerals. Now, Ravi did a research or did some kind of a R&D and figured out that four possible fertilizers are good for the Hyderabad conditions. Okay. When he decided like this, so what he did, he wants to test how these fertilizers are really working. Okay. Now, there are four samples: A, B, C, D. These are the four fertilizers. That means four samples of each. I mean, one sample for each fertilizer has been sent to Ravi by the respective distributors. Now Ravi wants to experiment what is the impact of fertilizer. This is the problem statement. Any question or anything that is missing in the problem statement? Friends, please respond. Any questions? Okay. Now, here is a land. So here is the land. This is the land. Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Suppose if I want to test and find out the result of, find out the impact of the fertilizer, what do you think? What do you think which will help you to identify the effect of the fertilizer on the yield of the crop? So this is your agriculture land. In this land, you wanted to grow the paddy. Okay, you wanted to grow the rice. Okay, you wanted to grow the paddy. So now you have to test which fertilizer is more effective. Okay, so that means when we looked into one sample, we know from one sample how to arrive at our population parameter. We also looked into two samples where we will have mu1 minus mu2. That is, then we have seen how to calculate the z values. From the z values, you can figure out what are the values. I mean, how the in connection with the test of hypothesis, you can come up with what are your mu1 and mu2. So now more than two, that's where you will use ANOVA concept. Here we have taken four, not three. Four samples we are having here right now. We are dealing with that concept now. In that, having said this, now we have to find out which fertilizer is more effective. If I want to find out that whether A or a B or a C or a D is going to be an effective one, what do you think in your mind will help you to do this? Ravi is saying, yes, divide the land into four parts and apply the fertilizer on four parts. Let me do that. I'm dividing the land into four parts. Right? Right? Now I am saying this is 1, 2, 3, and this is 4. Fair enough. Now we have four samples, four parts of the land, same land. Now, let us look into what are the basic bare minimum steps which will help us to find out the fertilizer impact. Okay. The first one, you decided, okay, Ravi decided something like this. He decided here he is going to put A, here he is going to put B fertilizer, here he is going to put C fertilizer, here he is going to put D fertilizer. Now Having said this, having said this, there are two options to Ravi. One is Ravi may become partial about any one of these fertilizers, or he can be a genuine person to figure out what is the best fertilizer that is going to suit for Hyderabad condition, or that is going to suit for this particular land. These are the two options that Ravi has. Okay, so there are these two options. We look at it in a slightly different way. Now, if Ravi, let's say, he's inclined to certain, let's say, America fertilizer, because probably the distributor said that, sir, probably you may want, if you select our fertilizer, we will provide you the trip to the US for your whole family, right? In such a situation, if Ravi is going to take a decision saying that America fertilizer is really going to be very useful for this condition, for Hyderabad condition, he may say that he has that option. In such a situation, okay, what is that we can call about Ravi's action? That is something, I'm introducing you a word called bias. I introduce you a word called bias. Because of this bias, what will happen? We will discuss that now in another 20 minutes from now. Look into the second option. In the second option, Ravi wants to be very genuine guy, so he decided to test these four fertilizers. So what he will be doing, he does this allocation, which fertilizer is going to put into which part of the land. He allocates that randomly. I'm introducing another word once again, randomly. You have seen this word pretty well. Okay, Ravi decided to put the fertilizer on the four parts of the land randomly. That is the only he can say that, okay, there is the impact of the fertilizer very clearly. Now, having said this, now let us look into the various possibilities or various situations that are available with respect to the land itself. Okay. So this part of the land, let us assume that wind can blow like this. It may not even touch this land. Okay, or there may be a rock here, which is actually sun is projecting from here. So most of the time, this particular land may get the shading over here. There is a little bit of sand content is more in this land. This land probably black cotton soil is more. This land with the soil, with the sand plus the red soil is sitting in this land. So the nature of the land is one thing which is an important aspect that Ravi has to look at it before he decides whether A and B or C or D is going to be really effective. Do you agree? Kritik, are you with me? Right, everyone, are you with me? What I'm trying to say? Are you following me? Wonderful. Now this nature, let us look into the nature of land. Suppose land 3, this land 3 or this part land 3, it may be having more nitrogen by default. Other lands does not have the same nitrogen content that the land A has. However, this US fertilizer, which is A, A fertilizer, may be weak in nitrogen. In such a situation, if Ravi decides to put that over here, that means because of this nature of the land itself, though the fertilizer is having a less nitrogen, still the yield is going to come properly, or yield is going to, you may get a better yield. That means still again it is contributing to the concept something called, again it is a bias, right? So the nature of the land which is here will also be determining, the yield of the crop. So if Ravi is an intelligent guy, what he has to do? He has to first ensure the entire land is uniformly, let me introduce this another word. This entire land is going to be maintained uniformity. That means introducing to the another word, homogeneity of the land. You have to maintain the homogeneity of the land. Let us assume that Ravi brought up he did a soil test in land 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he has done whatever that he can do with respect to bringing the land in a uniform condition. But still, the nature of land is in such a way that there is some kind of error exists in the land. Do you agree? There is some kind of a error inherently exists, which may not be visible to you, or even if you ensure that the entire thing is actually very well maintained by Ravi, but let us say the wind that is blowing over here might have taken some of the impact or some of the soil or the manure of the soil from this land to this land, this land to this land, or whatever. Or there may be a rain that may fall where this land will be little high and this land will be little low, so there is a water that will from this land flow down into this land. So any process for that matter, by default, where I'm trying to take you is, any process by default contains some inherent error, which you call it as background noise. I'm introducing a word, background noise. In other words, it's called error. Friends, are you with me? Okay. Now, in order to control this error, in order to control this background noise, Ravi has to ensure that he should do every possible precaution that he would like to take it to minimize this grand background noise. He cannot avoid background noise. It is there by default inherently, but he can always minimize this background noise. That means when I maintain the land uniformly, automatically my background noise is going to come down. That means this maintaining the uniformity is a mandate. Then only I can tell you the impact of fertilizer A or B or C or D is exist or not. Otherwise, I cannot decide which fertilizer is a good fertilizer or which fertilizer is suitable to the Hyderabad condition. Are you with me, my dear friend? Okay. Now, for whatever reason you are trying to do, you are trying to achieve the uniformity. Did anyone really knows what is the reason for the background noise? Answer is yes and no. Yes, because you always say this is the nature of the land. No, because we don't know how the nature of the land is going to be. There may be soil on the top, but just 10 inches if you go down, probably there is a rock below here in this land 1. Land 2, there may not be any rock below. There are various factors which you can't even control this way. Okay? So in such a situation, now I am more interested in testing the each and every fertilizer. So what Ravi has to do? Ravi decided to go for, let's say, 8 seasons. He wants to test it before he will go and tell KCR that this particular fertilizer is going to be suitable for Telangana area or for Hyderabad area. So what he does, first of all, he has to ensure, okay, this A fertilizer is giving a proper yield. So what he did, he divided the land A into two, and he put the soil A here, fertilizer A here, and fertilizer A here also. Now what he did, after applying the fertilizer, he planted the paddy seed in this both the both the pieces of the same land. Okay. He first condition, I mean, first thing, he maintained the uniformity. After that, he has randomly chosen whether he would like to put it. First, he will be put the fertilizer here, and then he divided the land into two parts, and he applied the fertilizers on both the land. Now he wants to measure the yield of the crop. Now let us say this yield, probably he might have got, let's say, 58 bags. This one he got it as, let's say, 60 bags. What will be the average? Average will be, let's say, somewhere it is sitting it as 59. Okay. So I am using the 59 is the yield. Okay, the difference is not too large between this. That means the uniformity is pretty well maintained, right? Similarly, same situation happened, but here he put the C fertilizer and he got 61. This is an average value, guys. Average value within the same land doing this. Okay. Now putting the D fertilizer in this land number 2 yielded, let's say, 60 bags of rice, 60 bags of paddy. Now here, putting the B fertilizer and land number 4, let us assume that you have 63 bags. Okay. Now let us look at few more conditions. Yes, just I will give you few seconds. Look at the picture. Remember what is what. Okay. Moving on. Now there are three important factors which you need to take care. There are three important factors for ANOVA. But the first one, maintain the uniformity. Maintain the uniformity means background noise should be maintained as low as possible. Okay. Second one, randomization. Randomization, that means randomly you are choosing the piece of the land where you are going to apply these 4 fertilizers. Third one, what Ravi has done is he tried to do the replication. What is that replication? In the land number 3, if this is land 3, he divided the land into 2, try to replicate the situation whether the yield is actually getting it or not, and average is considered after doing this part. This replication is one of the fantastic important information, but in reality, not possible all the time. Remember, not possible all the time. But in the interview, there will be 5 minutes discussion that will happen on ANOVA if you go for an interview for the data science job. Okay, you cannot forget this point. Most of the time, generally people say only point number 1 and point number 2. Third is also very important aspect. But in reality, it is not possible all the time. For example, you are trying to fire a rocket. Do you really want to replicate why the rocket is failed? You can do it, but it is a very costly affair, right? So not always this is replication is possible. You need to keep this in mind. Okay. So let us look into this second step, randomization. The randomization is not simply randomly you are putting it. There is a subject called design of experiments. This is a subject by itself. Design of experimentation. It's a beautiful subject, guys. These are all wonderful mathematical subjects. Okay. So we will not go into this. Basically, simply what we are trying to ensure is to basically avoid a term called bias, which you are introduced. Okay. Fair enough. Moving on. See, the replication is basically what it does is it will take you to replication is basically helps you to come up with your average values. That is what it happened. 58 is one half of the land and another half is 60. So the average value which I'm taking it as 59. Okay. So that you have to keep it in mind. That means replication value basically is what you are trying to do is you are trying to find out the average. You are going to talk about average values of this. Fair enough? Now, let me take you to the spreadsheet. I'm taking you to the spreadsheet. Okay. Guys, are you able to see my screen? Spreadsheet, please respond. Are you able to see my screen? Excel. Are you able to see my Excel? Wonderful. Okay. So now L1 stands for land 1, land 2, land 3, land 4. Okay. These are all part of the same land. A, B, C, D are the fertilizers. Now we tested 8 seasons doing the replication and taken the average values of the yield of the crop. So fertilizer A tested for 4 seasons and these are the yield that we have got from that particular L1 land. Similarly, L2 you have 6 seasons, L3 is also 6 seasons, LD we tried it for 8 seasons. Fair enough. So now, what is the average here? Can we calculate the average of each this one, all 8 seasons? What is this? This is average. Average is nothing but 61 bags, B 66 bags, C 68 bags, D 61 bags. Fantastic. Ideally, if I look at it, let us look into it. Suppose if there is no such scenario, such a deviation is why the deviation is coming up? Sometimes 62, sometimes 60, sometimes 63, sometimes 59. Why it is coming up? It is coming up because there is some impact of the inherent nature of the land, and also there is an impact on the fertilizer. So now ideally, if I look at it this, let me copy this same thing here. I'm going to put it here. See, ideally this should be everywhere 61. This is everywhere 66. Right? This is everywhere 68. This is everywhere 61. Right? This is an ideal condition. This is an ideal condition. Let me highlight it with some other color, probably pink, some color. Right? But it is not like this. The story is because of something else. Before we think about impact of the fertilizer exists or not, let us look at it something called the inherent error, the background noise. These values are possible because of the background noise. So I am going to calculate what is the difference of these again. Putting it here. Now let us say, what is the difference? Minus this value. Guys, look at this. What I am writing here, this I am calling this, this is a background noise. This is error. Why? What is this error? Can I call this as a error something within? I am calling this error as within. I'm making it into red color. Oh no, this color doesn't go. Or maybe blue. Yes. So this is within. So this you cannot control. You can try to minimize as much as you can. Okay. Now there are two concepts here. Please be with me. If you look at it, the background noise, this error basically is, this error is completely different. See, the fertilizer A error is different, fertilizer B error is different, fertilizer C error is different, fertilizer D is different. However, when I say I maintain the land uniformly, that means though the values are different, but this error is same across because the land is uniform. Whether you practically achieve it or not is the secondary. But if the land is uniform, this error is supposed to be same across each fertilizer. So mathematically the numbers are different. See here, mathematically numbers are different. Statistically, let me repeat the word. Statistically, this error, these numbers are same. Are you with me? Mathematically numbers looks different, but statistically they are same. Can I prove that statistically they are same? That is what your machine learning is. That is all about your machine learning is. When you get into the machine learning, you will be proving here that statistically these things are the same. Excuse me, my dear friend, sorry. And these values, this should be kept as low as possible. This should be always kept very low. It should be kept very low. What is that you learn? This error, numerically they look different, but statistically they are the same. But if I look at this, if I take the sum of this, if I look at this, right? You see the what is the sum of this value? 0. The sum of the value is what is this? 0. So here also it is what? 0. Here also it is 0. Here also 0. Put together also 0. So what is this? What are all these values? What is that we are trying to do here with this? What is these values? They are the average values. These are the average values, but that came from a replication part. So this, can I write this as x minus x bar? Guys, please respond. X minus x bar. So far we were talking so many times, we are talking x minus x bar, x minus x bar, x bar. You might be wondering what the hell is hell about this. Now I am trying to map your in your mind, x minus x bar means this. Okay. Now actually we are entering into data science subject. This is where the machine learning comes into the picture. Okay, we'll further move on. Okay, because x minus x bar, because this is a background noise or this is error, when I try to sum all these things, it is going to be 0. So what is the metric that we would like to use this? The metric that you would like to use is standard deviation. What is that I do in the standard deviation? I will square it so that I can see the magnitude of the value. I talked about probably the third or fourth class of our discussion, 30 classes before. Okay, you remember when I'm talking about the standard deviation, you will be squaring it. So what I do here is I sum and square all these values. There is a sum square function in the SQL in the Excel. What it does, it squares the values and then it sums it up. So what is the total here? The total is sum of all these values. How much it is? 112. Right? Now, here we are talking about one assumption. What is that assumption? What we are saying here is noise exists. That is background noise. Noise exists in the land. Noise exists. But assumption here is it is same across the land. It is same across 4 parts of the land. That means error exists, but it is the same. This is an assumption. Here I am introducing, this is also called, I am introducing a term, homoscedasticity. Your entire machine learning is how you minimize this. From the homoscedasticity, the concept of regression is emerged out. Whatever regression, simple linear regression, multiple linear regression, whatever we are talking about, this is the fundamental basis. Thanks to the Fisher who invented such a wonderful concept in the statistics. Okay. Now taking back you to the Excel. As today I may take 5-10 minutes extra because I wanted to take you to a logical conclusion to ANOVA. Okay. Is that okay to everyone? One. Guys, you will not find all these explanation in any book. Okay. Now, now there is another concept. Now I'm introducing to the another dimension of your thought process. Okay. What is the another dimension of this thought process? Now, some reason Ravi was able to achieve this uniformity. So he maintained the background noise very well. Now then only he can say fertilizer A is having a more impact than B or C or D or vice versa. Then only he can say that okay, which fertilizer is more effective, right? That means I want to calculate the average value of average value for all these things. What is this average value? This is 64, right? So this way I can calculate, or I can calculate this way also. Same, right? See here, average of averages is nothing but average of all the elements, which you call this as a grand mean. Are you with me? Both are same. Average of average is nothing but the total average of all the fertilizers. Now I want to compare how the each and every value of these yield, this yield of A, B, C, D is varying from grand mean. Right? So what I do, I'll make it 64 everywhere. Okay, now let me find out what is the error here. Error from what? Error from the original one. Okay, this is nothing but equal to this minus my grand mean. Guys, are you clear? Please respond. Did everyone understand this part? This is a little tricky part. So now here I calculated x minus x bar, but here what I am trying to do is I am trying to do this, trying to find out why the error is coming with respect to any fertilizer. The impact of the fertilizer now I am focusing on. So I call this as between. That means this this error is existing because of the fertilizer. That means because of A fertilizer between A and B, between B and C, between C and D, between A and D. This is what the error is all about. What is the value here? If I see here, if you sum this is not 0. Whereas here, if you sum it up, see here, if you sum it up here, this is 0. This background noise is 0. But here, because of the fertilizer, the values are not going to be 0 everywhere. Even if I sum the whole thing also, this is not going to be 0. Or it is going to be 0. It may be 0, it may not be 0. Both are possible. See here, in this context, the value is going to be, if I sum it up all this one, 0. But we are not interested in the sum of this one. We are interested with respect to the between. That means how the difference is happening here. So having said this, if I want to calculate the same function like the sum of the square, because I have to create this, I have to find out the standard deviation. So I need to square these error values. So I'm doing this squaring of all the values. So what is my value here? This is nothing but 340. This is nothing but 340. This is 112. This is 340. So this is one type of error. This is another type of error. What is the total error? What is the total deviation? Total deviation is nothing but this plus this. Are you with me? Friend, are you with me? Okay. So this is basically, sorry, this is total, because I'm doing it with respect to the whole value. But I have to take with respect to the another, I'm looking at the within, between kind of a thing. This is not to be low. This is total. I'm copying the same thing. Below, I'm taking it to down. Okay. So here I'll be using this averages of all this one, 61. Okay. Here what I do is, these are all, this is 61. Same thing I can copy, whatever it is. Coming down. This is the same thing. Now you have the grand mean 64, right? You have seen the grand mean on the top. This is the 64. Now subtract this average values with respect to the grand mean. That is when you say, I am going to get whether the effectiveness of my fertilizer A, because from the grand mean, when I'm subtracting, that is the error, or that is the difference which is showing me with respect to the fertilizer, which I call it as between. Sorry guys, earlier I said the wrong statement. So between means this average with respect to this average. But when we are trying to calculate the entire error with respect to X, this is X with respect to all the elements, and your grand mean is your total. Guys, is that clear? This is the total. I said wrong thing. Okay. Okay, let me complete the calculation. Then I will come back to you to explain you once again, Kritik. So now I'm looking at this as a 64 right now as a grand mean. Just to make it a little more clear to you guys. Okay. Now, what we do, we will simply subtract this value minus this value. What happened? Oh, sorry. Then this will be the same story. What is that? You have to use this other dollar, because it is the one value, simple value, right? Either I can do this way, or I can simply do this. Minus 64, I can keep it. Then I can copy the everything. It will come beautifully. It will come. Because 64 is anyway constant. Okay. Okay. So if you look at these values, it is not zero, guys. The in between is not zero. This is between. So if I want to do the same thing here, okay, perfect. Now, guys, be with me. Let me repeat once again so that the clarity will be built on you. Okay. What we have done here is we picked up the 4 fertilizers randomly allocated to 4 different lands, and now we tested this yield, the yield crop for 8 seasons, and the average values that we have plotted over here 62, 60, season 1, 62, all the values have been created here. So these are all nothing but your X values. They are X values. Okay, these are all the X values. So if I want to, after this, ideally, if the land maintained uniformly, then everywhere the average value 61 will be the value that the land is going to show or going to give you the yield. So in ideal conditions, this is how it is going to look like with respect to fertilizer A, with respect to fertilizer B, with respect to fertilizer C, with respect to fertilizer D. Okay. Having said this, I wanted to find out what is the difference between my average versus my X values. That is my X minus X bar, which is the values which you see here. These are the values. But if I club all these values, the sum is going to be 0. The sum value is going to be 0. However, if you look at it, the magnitude of these error values, this also sum is going to be 0, but the magnitude seems to be different. So the error because of this A or error B, C, D with respect to all these things, numerically they are different, but statistically they are the same. That error is the same. Then only you say that the land is uniform. Practically, will you achieve this? You will never be able to achieve this. But this is an assumption. Till this point, are you clear, everyone? Please respond, everyone. You have to respond. Everyone should respond. Till here. You're clear? Wonderful. Now, what I am doing is, leave this middle part. Let me go to the down. Here. Ideally, average value is 61. But when I calculate the grand mean, how do I calculate the grand mean? This entire mean of this, if I take the mean of all these values, this is your grand mean 64. But if I find the difference between my grand mean versus my average value, that will be telling me the error that is existing because of the fertilizer. Ideally, everywhere it should be 64. If A, B, C, D fertilizers are giving the same yield, that means the value is going to be 64 everywhere here. But that is not the case. It is actually little different. Why this is different? Because there is a impact of the fertilizer exists. Right? So that one we are calling it as between. You see here, this error you call it as between. 64 minus these values. This is what you see here. So again, same thing. If I want to, how do I find the standard deviation? Square these values so that this negative value will come. Then you can get the quantifiable number. So the sum of all this is all these things is 228. But if you see little above, if we see here, okay, this is a inherent error, within error, this plus the error causing because of the fertilizer 228 is nothing but your total error. Matching, this one matching. See here, both are matching. This and this. This is total error. That means total error, total background noise, total deviation is divided into two concepts. One is within error, another one is between error. So, in another word, I can simply say, I am saying my total deviation or error is within deviation plus between deviation. Okay. So the second one you call it as this one. What is the second one? This grand mean with respect to this between part. Between, what you call this? This is what? This grand mean. Grand mean I will call it as y bar bar. Okay, this is grand mean. What is that? How I am getting this between? Between you are subtracting these values. What is this value? This value is your average. That means your y bar. So you can say either you can use this. Sorry, you are so far you are used to this symbol, right? So x bar minus x bar bar. This is nothing but your between deviation. Whereas this x minus x bar. Guys, are you with me? If this value equals to 0, obviously when it becomes a 0, if the difference between these two is very large, let's say if this grand mean and this average value, if the difference is too large, that means there is a fertilizer impact. That's all it is, right? The grand mean, let's say it is 78. 61 minus 78 is coming up. That means the impact of the fertilizer is existing. See, if you look at it, the difference between the all A, B, C, D fertilizers grand mean versus your average, more or less very close by. That is -3, 2, 4, -3. If the difference is pretty large, that is when you conclude there is an impact of the fertilizer exists. But if the difference is very small, if the difference is small, what is the maximum smallest difference is possible? The smallest difference is possible that's within error. That means every fertilizer is same, but you can't control this within error. So error exists. So this is the minimum possible error which you cannot control. Friends, are you with me? Let me write the formula so that it will sit in your mind. However, if you look into your R programming or Python, to find out this ANOVA, all it takes is 30 seconds, which I'm explaining you right now for last 1 hour, 10 minutes. The concept is this. But there, just ANOVA. If you type that word, job is done for you. Okay. So let me write this. There are 4 fertilizers: A, B, C, D. So I am writing something like this. I am calling each element as, let's say, YA1, YA2, YA3, YA4, because there are only 4 seasons we tested the A fertilizer. B fertilizer we tested something like YB1, YB2, YB3, YB4, YB5, YB6, right? Similarly, YC12 up to YC6. But here YD12 up to YD8. Any confusion, my dear friends, here? Clear, right? No, good. So now I'm moving on to, I am merging the concept into your mathematical textual equations, which you will find in any book. This I call it as YA bar. That means the average. I'm trying to take the average. So YA bar, YB bar, YC bar, and YD bar. Any questions? Now, here I am defining within error. I am writing a formula for within error. What is that I have done within error? We have subtracted YA1 minus YA bar whole square. This is how we calculated it. Plus YA2 minus YA bar whole square up to 4 terms, plus YB1 minus YB bar whole square plus YB2 minus YB bar whole square up to 6 terms, because there are 6 values here. Now here also 6 values, Y6. This is YC1 minus YC bar whole square plus YC2 YC bar whole square up to 6 terms. Friends, are you with me? Any confusion till this point? Then YD1 minus YD bar whole square plus YD2 minus YD bar whole square up to 8 terms. This is called your within error. That is, this is your background noise. Are you with me? Now, what about between? This is where the impact of the fertilizer, between error. This is where the impact of the fertilizer comes into the picture. How do I quantify it? So what is that we are doing it? Here, you are actually subtracting from X bar minus X bar bar. So instead of X, now I'm using this Y notation over here. Okay. So if I want to repeat these values 4 times, I have to repeat it, right? So what will happen? YA bar minus Y bar bar. This is the YA bar. This one minus bar bar, that is grand mean. This is the whole square. Okay. How many times it has? It has 4 times. So what will happen? This is nothing but 4 times of this plus 6 times of YB bar minus Y bar bar whole square plus 6 times of YC bar minus Y bar bar whole square plus 8 times of yd bar minus y bar bar whole square. In another words, I can write this. This n is nothing but how many times? What is the samples? I mean, how many times we have tested this? 4 times. Which how this is nothing but NA. That means 4 seasons we tested it. So NA YA bar minus YY bar whole square plus this is NB YB bar minus whole square plus NC YC bar minus Y bar bar whole square plus ND into YD bar minus Y bar bar whole square. This is the formula for this between. Okay. Now for total error or total deviation, you can write both the formulas. What is this? Within plus between. We have just proved that also, right? This is 112, this is 228 or something, whatever, the 348 into this one, right? We tested this and this. Now, how to minimize this? How to control, I mean, in what way we have to deal with this is your machine learning. The various techniques are available, my dear friends. Okay, from here the concept of regression is originated. Any questions? Is it interesting, guys? Is it interesting? Any questions? This is the concept of ANOVA. ML stands for machine learning. This is where you will be teaching. Okay, I will not talk about it. Maybe in another 2 days, 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 classes from now, I will talk about this machine learning. That time I will tell you in detail what is this modeling, mathematical modeling. How do you minimize this? It's all minimizing the error is your everything. Yeah, I will share the Excel also with you guys so that you can go through this. Guys, please listen to this video, today's class, and also go through the Excel which I'm going to upload. Ravi is going to upload this to you. Okay, very important. If you don't understand tomorrow's class, you cannot understand anything. And there I will, after that I will be jumping into the regression, the machine learning part. I may not go to the machine learning directly because matrices algebra I need to teach. So I will jump into that. That class you will easily follow. But today, this is, and I'm telling you, this is a game changer, my dear friends. This concept is a game changer for your entire data set. Whole concept is actually based on this. The entire machine learning concepts are based on this. How do you minimize these two terms? Period. That evolved a huge science. Now that you call that machine learning, deep learning, some other learning, whatever learning is. Okay. With that said, I'd say you actually started seeing the subject of data science. Okay, friends. See you tomorrow. Okay. But don't read, at least if you are not able to listen to the video, at least read some material in the books, whatever you try to see. Okay. Bye, my dear friends.